Thank you for coming in, Jade. I wanted to just say thanks for considering me as you're going through what's challenging to you right now. And to that end, I brought out this problem-solving model. It's called a Libre, because Libre means free, and it's a problem-solving stick figure that would allow you an opportunity to process what's going on. So before we begin, what I'd like to do is just go over the ground rules, and then that way you can ask me any questions, I can show you what it looks like, and then we can begin from there. The very first piece is to just let you know that there's 5 steps and 5 questions that I'm going to be asking you. One's going to be to ask you just to listening to yourself, what are you hearing and what would you like to share. Then we're going to identify one particular concern. We'll brainstorm whatever options. I'm only going to record your words. And then reality test behaviors that might be associated, and then there'll be the encourage step, which is developing a plan. But before, and this is what it looks like, but before we begin, what I'd like to do is just go over the ground rules. And basically, there are 4 that I want to share. The first one is that you are I'm the respecter of you, and this is to be your place of respect, so everything you share is yours. That you would feel comfortable, and do you feel comfortable in this place? I mean, I know this is just kind of a quiet office place, but I wanted to have some place where the doors are closed and where you can feel comfortable. Okay, and then everything, as I mentioned, will be held in confidence, and the whole idea with the activity is that it's really designed to help create the independence, that you could see yourself being able to problem solve whenever anything occurs. So, any questions?
No.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you. So let's go ahead and begin. Here's the problem solving, and it says a graphic organizer. And what I'd like you to do is, beginning as we had indicated with the listening, could you tell me with what challenges you're experiencing right now, and I'll record them here for you.
I'm really considering early graduation.
Okay.
And I also need to get a driver's license.
Okay.
I also need to make some exceptions
Okay.
to take a test.
Okay.
To get a job.
Okay.
I have to start college.
Okay.
I'm gonna consider taking dual credit courses.
Okay.
And then I'm going to do research papers for those courses.
Okay.
And then I need to do work.
Okay. Is there anything else? It seems like there's a lot going on, so I appreciate you coming in. What I heard you say is that you have, early graduation that you're wanting to consider, and then you're also wanting to get a driver's license, but you know that there's also some exceptions that are going to be required to do that, to take whatever tests, I guess, to graduate early, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And then you also want to get a job,
Mm-hmm.
and you want to start college, and you want to take dual credits while you're in high school right now, graduating early, and then research papers and work were also topics. Is there anything else?
No.
Okay. So so that's a lot. Thank you for sharing that. If we were to identify one particular focus, what might be the question that you would want? And usually the question is from any of these particular topics. Is there one question that you would want to create to reflect a point of focus for us for the remainder of the activity?
I guess what my focus would be is early graduation. So what do I need to do to graduate early?
Okay. And so that becomes our focus. So we can talk about any of these others, but for right now, let's just focus on what do you need to do to graduate early. And let's start right here in brainstorming. If you could think about answers or responses or options to this particular question, what do you need to do to graduate early?
I guess I could study more.
Okay.
I need to pass the tests.
Okay.
I need to talk with my school counselor.
Okay.
And I also need to create a plan for myself.
Okay. I'm wondering, is there anything else that you need to consider? And here with brainstorming, we want to consider both realistic and unrealistic. So are there any unrealistic ones that you can think of?
I could just drop out and get my GED.
Okay. And can you think of one or two more?
Or I could just go to college and sign up for the college courses there rather than taking them already in high school.
Okay. Okay. So from these, do you have some realistic and some unrealistic ones?
Yes.
Okay. So let's eliminate the ones that are unrealistic first.
The dropout one, I'm probably not going to do that.
Okay.
And I probably won't go to college right off.
Okay. Okay. So then that leaves us study more, pass your test, talk to the counselor, and create your own plan. Which one would be the one most likely for you to invest in?
Well, I have to talk to my counselor first.
Okay.
Before I can consider doing anything.
Okay. And so we'll make that our priority one. And then second?
To study more.
Okay.
Then to pass my tests. And then to create my own plan.
Okay. So that gives you 4 processing thoughts. But as we're processing, let's think about what kind of behaviors would be involved in that. So if you think about the reality testing, which is your behavioral steps, talking with your counselor was your first one. Behaviorally, or if we think about this in terms of actions, what that might look like. Can you give me some thoughts about what that might look like? What's involved in talking to your counselor?
Well, I need to set up a meeting with her so we can talk about early graduation and the requirements.
Okay. And your second one was to study more. What might that look like?
I need to do a little bit more of my own research
Okay.
on taking these courses.
Okay. And your third one was to pass the test.
I figure that if I study really hard and I pass my tests, then it will let the college people decide if they want to take me for dual credit or not.
Okay. And the last one that you talked about was creating your own plan. So if you were to do that, what would that look like?
I need to set up my plans to let my friends and my family know what I'm about to do, and also to give myself a clear head.
And the idea here is that we're processing. So I'm going to review very quickly. This was an opportunity for you to list everything that was going on. And then we identified one particular topic, and we processed both in terms of realistic and unrealistic, and then came back and started thinking about some plan of action if you actually did behaviorally do something. But I haven't asked you to make a commitment up to this point. So what I'd like you to do in this last step is, the one I mentioned is the encourage. And the purpose of the encourage step is to help you both create a plan, as you indicated you wanted to, and then give yourself some timelines to completing that plan. So that with each step you'll know, if I'm doing this by this time, this is what I'll have as an accomplishment to that plan. So what would be your first step?
I need to create my plan.
Okay. And what would be your second?
I need to make an appointment with my counselor.
Okay.
Then I need to decide what college I want to go to.
Okay.
And then I need to ask about early graduation.
Okay. Is there anything else?
No.
Okay. So we have 4 steps that we've created. The first one is that you're going to create that plan. And as I mentioned before, one is to actually create a plan. The other one is to actually hold yourself accountable with the details or timeline. So if you're creating your plan, when do you see yourself accomplishing that task?
I would have to do that today.
Okay. And how about make an appointment with the counselor? When would you make that appointment?
I could stop by the counselor's office tomorrow.
Okay. And your third one was to decide what college you wanted to go to. How much you'd be developing a timeline for that?
I would have to do that maybe after school today. I'd just look online and do my own research online.
Okay. And then your last step was to ask about early graduation requirements. What is your timeline for that one?
I'd have to write out all the questions that I'm going to ask
Okay.
the counselor about.
Okay.
That way I don't leave anything off.
Okay.
And I'll probably do that tonight.
Okay. Okay. So so then probably once you develop those questions, you'll come back and revisit this last one in terms of after you have your questions, then you'd be able to ask the counselor what would be required. Very good. One of the purposes of the activity is to allow you a place of encouragement. So I hope you noticed that only your words were recorded, and I only scratched out the ones that you wanted me to scratch out. And so if you were to offer yourself a word of affirmation, a mantra, a word to encourage yourself for having done all of this work, what would you offer yourself?
I guess I'd probably say, you go, girl.
Okay. Well, I want to offer you this and hope that this was helpful for you, and so that you might be able to use it as a plan as you go forward from here. Thank you.
Thank you.